A great empire had fallen. The Vijayanagara Empire, a beacon of South Indian power for over 2 centuries, had crumbled. Its magnificent capital, Hampi, lay in ruins after the Battle of Talikota in 1565. From the ashes of this vast dominion, new powers began to emerge. These were the Nayaks. They were former governors, they were military commanders, they were viceroys. Now, they asserted their own independence. They carved out kingdoms for themselves from the fragments of the old order. 4 of these kingdoms would leave a particularly deep and lasting mark on the history and culture of the South. Madurai, Thanjavur, Chitradurga, Keladi. They would shape the destiny of the land for the next 200 years. This period, from the 16th to the late 18th century, was a time of profound change. It was an age of conflict. It was an age of incredible creativity. The Nayaks were patrons of art, of architecture, and of literature. They built spectacular temples with towering gopurams, constructed forts on hilltops and along the coast, managed sophisticated irrigation, and engaged in trade and diplomacy with the Marathas and the new European traders. Understanding these 4 kingdoms is key to understanding the transition of South India from the medieval to the modern era. Each had its own character shaped by geography and rulers. The story of the Madurai Nayaks begins with a soldier. His name was Viswanatha Nayak, a trusted general of the Vijayanagara Empire. Around 1529, he was sent south to govern the ancient Pandya country. He established his authority and made Madurai his capital, beginning a dynasty that ruled for over 200 years. Viswanatha and his brilliant minister Ariyanatha Mudaliar reorganized the territory. They set up palayams, military feudal estates, which helped secure the kingdom. That foundation let successors embark on grand projects that defined Madurai. The greatest successor was Tirumala Nayak, who ruled 1623 to 1659. His reign is the golden age of Madurai. He declared formal independence from Vijayanagara and ruled as a sovereign king. He poured wealth into architecture, transforming Madurai into a city of wonders. He vastly expanded the Meenakshi Amman temple and added the Pudu Mandapam, a hall of life-sized Nayaka sculptures. He built the Tirumala Nayak Palace, grand courtyards, soaring arches, stucco pillars. Under the Nayakas, Madurai was a religious center and a hub of commerce on coastal trade routes. Textiles, pearls, spices. They kept a strong army and stable administration, invested in tanks and channels, and rose in power. But the golden age could not last. In the fertile delta of the Kaveri River, another Nayaka kingdom rose to prominence. The Thanjavur Nayak dynasty was founded by Sevappa Nayak around 1532. A former Vijayanagara governor granted control of Thanjavur, heartland of the old Chola Empire. Vast rice paddies nourished by the Kaveri made agricultural wealth the bedrock of prosperity. Sevappa and successors made Thanjavur their capital. They transformed it into a center of learning, art, and religion, scholars and patrons of the highest order. Raghunatha Nayak, 1600–1634, marked a cultural peak. Vijayanagara Nayak, 1634–1673, continued the legacy. Raghunatha was a musician and scholar of Sanskrit and Telugu. His court filled with poets, philosophers and artists. The Saraswati Mahal library expanded. Thanjavur painting flourished. Rich colors, gold foil embellishments, inlaid glass and semi-precious stones. Skilled administrators, the Nayakas managed complex canals and navigated international trade. European traders arrived, Portuguese, Dutch, English, and the Danes established Tranquebar in 1620. New goods and ideas flowed, but growing European influence cast a shadow. Rulers balanced benefits and threats. Conflict with the Nayakas of Madurai weakened both kingdoms. In 1674, Maratha general Ekoji, half-brother of Shivaji, defeated Vijayanagara Nayak. The ruler died fighting, and Ekoji founded the Maratha kingdom of Thanjavur. Though the dynasty ended, its legacy in music, dance and painting endures. Far from the fertile deltas, In the dry, rocky central Deccan plateau, a different Nayaka power rose. This was the kingdom of the Nayakas of Chitradurga, martial prowess and engineering genius. Founded in the late 16th century by Timmana Nayaka, a provincial governor under Vijayanagara. After the empire fell, his successors declared independence and built a kingdom around the hill of Chitradurga. Chitradurga means picturesque fort. The fort became their heart and soul. Not a single wall, but 7 snaking over granite hills. Generations expanded and hardened the stronghold, a marvel of defensive engineering, hidden passages, secret entrances, massive watchtowers, and cleverly designed gateways. Within stood temples, palaces, granaries, and interconnected reservoirs for rainwater. These reservoirs let the fort survive long sieges. Known as palagars, the Nayakas derived power from military strength and strategic trade routes. They fought constant wars with Bijapur, Golconda, the Marathas, and the rising Wadiyars of Mysore. Madurai Nayaka V, late 18th century, was a brave, cunning leader who played rivals against each other. But Hyder Ali coveted Chitradurga and laid siege repeatedly. The Nayakas defended fiercely. Obava's valor became legend, yet in 1779, treachery breached the defenses. Madurai was captured, and Chitradurga fell to Mysore and Tipu Sultan. In the lush, rain-drenched western Ghats of modern-day Karnataka, another Nayaka kingdom flourished, Keladi, also known as the Ikeri Nayakas. Their story begins with Chaudappa Nayaka in the early 16th century, a Vijayanagara feudatory. Capitals shifted, Keladi, then Ikeri, then Bidanur, Nagara, a hill fort. Location was their greatest asset, controlling the Malnad highlands and the Kanara coast. They tapped valuable forest resources and the lucrative maritime trade of the Arabian Sea. Keladi rulers mastered trade, controlling ports exporting pepper, cardamom, cinnamon, and sandalwood. European traders, especially the Portuguese, were drawn to the spice trade. Wealth funded armies and distinctive architecture. Keladi temples synthesized Hoysala, Dravidian, and Vijayanagara styles, often with local materials and monsoon-suited sloping roofs. The Agoreshwara temple at Ikeri is a prime example. Queen Chennamma, 1672–1697, granted asylum to Rajaram, son of Shivaji. When the Mughals demanded him, she refused. In Malnad's dense forests, her army fought with guerrilla tactics. The Mughals withdrew. Her bravery became legend. In the 18th century, pressure rose from the Marathas and from Hyder Ali. Queen Viramaji fought valiantly. In 1763, Hyder Ali captured Bidanur and its famous treasury, ending the Keladi Nayaka dynasty. Annexed into Mysore, Keladi's legacy lived on in temples, trade policies, and tales of warrior queens. The histories of these 4 Nayaka kingdoms, while distinct, are threads from the same cloth. Each rose from the remnants of Vijayanagara, and each carried that legacy forward. They linked the great medieval empires to the complex politics of the 18th century. A comparison of their fates reveals a shared pattern. All began as loyal feudatories who seized the opportunity for independence, enjoyed golden ages of culture and architecture funded by agriculture, trade, and military control. Ultimately, they succumbed to larger centralized powers, the Marathas and the Kingdom of Mysore. Madurai's towering Gopurams still draw pilgrims. Thanjavur's Saraswati Mahal treasures manuscripts. Chitradurga's walls testify to bravery. The serene temples of Keladi and Ikeri remain alive with devotion. These are living monuments. Rulers invested not only in warfare, but in lasting art and architecture. The Nayaka period was more than an interlude. It was dynamic regional assertion and cultural synthesis. The Nayakas were patrons, warriors, builders, administrators, governing for nearly 2 centuries amid intense competition, fostering art, music, and literature that enrich the world today. Though their kingdoms fell, they left an indelible mark on the soul of South India. Their story is a powerful reminder that the fall of an empire is often the birth of 1,000 new beginnings.